Well, good Tuesday morning, Southeast Texas. Let's take a look at our sky cams across the area over the next 15 minutes. Our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network here in Beaumont, sponsored by Packard and Prey. Starting to get a few cumulus clouds developing now with daytime heating. Started out fairly cool this morning. We started out in the 50s, even here in the Triangle and the outside areas. Urban areas in the upper 50s. Had some patchy ground fog again this morning. Now we're beginning to heat up. A few cumulus clouds beginning to develop. Moisture levels slowly increasing throughout the day. When that strong cold front moves in this evening, we do expect a 50 to 60% coverage of showers and thunderstorms. Now, it'll be a thin line of storms, shouldn't last too long, so rainfall totals will not be impressive, but there'll be some thunder lightning with some of those storms too. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes, of course, but pretty nice morning. It's going to warm up this afternoon into the lower to mid 80s across Southeast Texas after that cool start this morning and that patchy ground fog we had across the area. Up the lakes area, you started out in the 50s. You'll also warm into the 80s this afternoon. Same thing over in southwestern Louisiana. You started out in the 50s, warming into the 80s this afternoon. But much colder weather and windy weather will take over tonight. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. Let's take a look at Hurricane Melissa. Well, certainly a historic storm, that's for sure. Very, very close to tying the 1935 Labor Day hurricane that moved through the Florida Keys. But Melissa is making landfall as we speak. Finally picked up a little bit of speed. We thought it would late last night and this morning, moving on shore. But look at the winds though. 185 gusting to 220. And that was the plane report just not long ago. In fact, I saw a few reports where the sustained winds were up to 190, 195. So just doesn't matter at this point. It's total destruction that's taking place now across western Jamaica. Whiteout conditions. What buildings and homes there are maybe in this region right around the eye wall where the most destructive of the winds are pretty much obliterated from what I saw on some video earlier. Not a good situation across Jamaica at all. Moving north-northeast at 9. At least it picked up a little bit of speed. It'll continue to work on off to the north-northeast and finally get out of Jamaica coming up late today and overnight tonight. Should cross eastern Cuba early tomorrow morning, slowly weakening in the process. But of course, the main weather news across Jamaica is going to be the devastation and unfortunately lots of fatalities. I just don't see how that's going to be avoided. As you don't see a hurricane in this part of the world anyway like this. Now you get typhoons a lot of times in the Pacific that you could see get this strong, but this is almost unheard of in the Atlantic basin, that's for sure. But just devastating situation there for those folks in western Jamaica across the entire island country. It's going to be devastating. Kingston, at least you'll be away from the most devastating winds, the EF5 tornadic type winds in the range of 185 to 200. Those will be off to your west, but there'll still be a lot of damage, a lot of surge, a lot of flooding going on across south central Jamaica, eastern Jamaica as well. So just a terrible, terrible situation for those folks there. So don't even really want to see the video later today and tomorrow coming out of there, that's for sure. All right, the coordinates, well, no coordinates, making landfall now. The expected motion over the next few days, of course, category 5 now, dropping to a 4 late tonight, tomorrow as it crosses eastern Cuba, then down to category 2 as it gets into the southeastern Bahamas coming up in a couple of days. And it'll be working on out to sea, certainly no threat to the U.S. or the Gulf of Mexico, thank goodness. But, oh, what a storm. This one will be remembered forever, I can promise you that. And you don't see very many of this magnitude in this part of the world very often. It's very, very close to, very close, if not tied, the 1935 Labor Day storm, as I said a few moments ago. But it'll finally be off of Jamaica later today and overnight tonight. But of course, the video will tell the tale. Of course, temperatures right now locally, mid to upper 70s, getting closer to 80 as we get closer to that noon hour. It's already in the lower 80s in the Houston area, 82 Conroe, 81 Houston, 75 degrees over in Lake Charles. But what a difference between today and tomorrow is going to be. We'll be lucky to get in the low to mid 60s, by the way. Even with lots of sun tomorrow, with the high winds we're expecting tomorrow, the cold air advection coming in behind tonight's front. And the front's off to our northwest. Already some light showers developing well north of the lakes area. A weak stationary front out ahead of the stronger front, which is rapidly moving to the south, by the way. That front will reach us coming up this evening with a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Of course, we'll get to Futurecast in just a moment, but notice a lot of showers and thunderstorms, nothing severe up there in Arkansas right now. This working on off to the southeast with an upper level disturbance. All right, now let's take a look at Futurecast. South winds off the Gulf, bringing the moisture back. We're going to be a little more unstable by this evening too, so there'll be some instability. And we're talking temperatures in the low to mid 80s this afternoon. We'll stop this as the line moves through. About 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight, we do expect a thin line of storms. Not going to be a big, thick area of thunderstorms line like we saw over the weekend, but storms could extend from DeRidder back down into Orange County, Beaumont, back down to Galveston around 6:30 this evening. There will be some lightning with some of these storms. There's a little bit of instability. Wouldn't shock me, probably not going to happen, but it wouldn't shock me if a couple of these thunderstorms produce some small hail this evening in spots. But it's going to be a quick mover. Certainly not expecting any heavy rain, maybe a quarter to a half an inch, which we still certainly need, by the way. Some of the burn bans are still in place, especially for Orange County. Now, once we get rid of this, as I said, the gusty winds will take over, will clear out overnight. Strong northwesterly winds, and we're talking some chilly temperatures in the morning, upper 40s, near 50 in the lakes. And as we head on into the triangle, probably low 50s, 50 to 53, and some low clouds trying to wrap around coming up by tomorrow evening. But I still think we'll see lots of sun coming up for tomorrow, and already down to 58 by 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll drop it in the mid 40s. Mid 40s looks like coming up for Thursday morning. Coldest morning will be Friday morning, down to about 42, 43. Some upper 30s, not out of the question, especially in the northern lakes area coming up by Friday morning. All right, now problem number 2 coming up tomorrow is going to be the strong winds. Look at these wind gusts. Futurecast is showing tomorrow behind this strong front, 30, 35, may see some gusts to 40. Wouldn't shock me in a few isolated areas tomorrow. 32, 33, some 34s. Now you combine that with the very low humidity we're expecting tomorrow. High fire danger day tomorrow. Do not burn outdoors tomorrow. Don't even think about it. With winds like this and that low humidity, still the ground in some areas is already beginning to dry out. The winds will make things worse, evaporating what little moisture we have in the ground from the rains we had over the weekend. That just doesn't make for a very good situation at all. So these are wind gusts tomorrow afternoon. They'll start coming down a little bit tomorrow night, but the winds still stay up a little bit tomorrow night. They really don't start coming down real good till Thursday. That's the reason Friday morning will be our coldest morning. Wildfire danger for tomorrow. Yeah, very high to extreme. That's what I was saying. You know, when you get humidity that low and gusty north winds tomorrow, it's not going to take much to get a fire started. And if a fire starts, it would spread like crazy. So bottom line is just no burning outdoor tomorrow. That would be the best thing. And then that leads us to the coldest night and coldest morning of the front, with this front coming in, of the early fall season. Some upper 30s, near 40 up in the lakes. I'd say low to mid 40s along Interstate 10, and even some upper 40s down to around Port Arthur and the coastline. Pretty good shot of cold air coming down. It's going to wake you up tomorrow morning and Thursday morning, that's for sure. Especially tomorrow morning, because we'll be in the low 50s with a strong wind. You will feel it. And of course, even on Thursday morning, temperatures will be cold enough. Still a little bit of a breeze, by the way, on Thursday morning as well. So yes, pretty chilly temperatures coming in beginning this evening. We'll get that line of showers and thunderstorms with the front through here, and then temperatures will begin to drop and the wind speeds will continue to increase. All right, rest of the day, most of the afternoon looking quiet, but as we head toward 6, 7 o'clock, look for a 40 to 50% coverage, showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s this afternoon. The winds are going to shift, okay? The winds are going to shift to the northwest behind the front, really start picking up. It'll be a windy night, that's for sure. And as we head into tonight, we will become mostly clear. It's going to be windy. Northwest winds 10 to 20, gusts to 30 at times overnight. Lows upper 40s, close to 50. Same across inland southeast Texas and along Interstate 10, 50 or so. Cold enough with that wind blowing, that's for sure. Lower 50s toward the coastline. All right, 7-day forecast. The next 3 days look beautiful if you like fall weather. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, beautiful. Kind of chilly. Low near 50 tonight, wind chill. Let's talk about wind chills a little bit because the wind chills will be in the low 40s tomorrow morning. 46 Thursday morning, wind chill will be around 40. Winds will be a little bit less than tomorrow morning. But notice the highs the next 2 days, mid-60s, maybe. May not hit 66 tomorrow with those northerly winds blowing like that, even though we'll have a lot of sun. And as we head into the weekend, we have added a slight chance of showers. Some of our computer models have lots of rain on Saturday. We'll take another look at that again later today and tomorrow, but it looks like an upper level disturbance is going to come across the area on Saturday, and with just enough moisture back. Notice our winds do become southerly on Friday. They're very light though. I think we'll have just enough moisture back for a few widely scattered showers on a Saturday. And then that upper level disturbance will move out, will be partly cloudy on Sunday and then mostly sunny on Monday. Notice we warm up a little bit. Still nice though, mid to upper 70s over the weekend. Back to the lower 80s on Monday and mid 70s. Another little front there behind this upper level disturbance early next week. Be sure to text us on our weather phone and we'll be able to get back with you. Answers to your questions, you can reach us at 409-749-9302. And check the phone real quick here as I stand here. Got about a minute left, I believe. Yet no messages coming in yet. But of course, Melissa, moving on shore now in western Jamaica. Just a tragic situation going to develop there. Of course, we'll know more on that coming up later today and the days to come with the video that comes out. And our weather will be turning colder. It's going to feel more like mid-November coming up beginning tonight than what we'll have, let's say, earlier this month. Going to feel more like November. But 50 tonight, mid-60s tomorrow, windy, lots of sun, 46 on Thursday. And as we head into Friday, a chilly morning, beautiful for high school football. You'll need a light jacket for the games Friday night. Now, there shouldn't be much wind Friday night for high school football. No wind there, but it's going to be cool. And as we head into the weekend, slight chance of showers Saturday, and then we'll see temperatures slowly warming up as we head toward the middle of next week.